good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Whatever time of day you are joining us, this is the Victory Roll Wrestling Podcast, where we are both very tired coming off of a show weekend, but we are still going to give you the week wrestling recap. Joining me today, none other than 6'12", newest member of the Brew World Order, Dylan Gilbert. Dylan, how we doing, buddy?
And we were, like you said, post-show day. Tired, but what a great night, man. Pro Wrestling 225. We'll give them the shout out, I guess.
Yeah, it was a great show. I took the loss, a little bit beaten up and bruised, but I'm all right. Because it hasn't been said, I am the Storyteller, number one member of the Pillar. They can argue with me later, Alex Braddock. But yeah, I suffered a loss from Hunter Law, which I'll be dealing with later. But until then, we're here doing the recap of wrestling. Let's just go ahead and kick it off. I think we're both just not in a talk, like, we just need to talk about wrestling and get into the energetic mood. So Starting off Monday Night Raw, what went down? What are highlights for you out of that?
So, I mean, obviously next week is go home to SummerSlam. So usually 2 weeks for a pay-per-view, 3 weeks for a pay-per-view, you're kind of in that holding pattern. This week, I think the big highlights for me were that they finally, I think I've complained on the podcast about like this Drew McIntyre CM Punk feud. It's building. And it's like, what more is it going to take for them to just make the match? They made the match. Seth Rollins being in the middle as a completely partial, right. I guess completely impartial because he hates them both.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of like one of the most fun situations for a special guest referee is when there is some sort of hatred between all parties.
Right.
So that it's not going to be a one-sided affair. It is going to be Rollins disliking both of these men, and I cannot wait to see what story they tell there. And I'm glad that Punk and Drew are finally going to get to lock up, and hopefully this match is as good as the build has been.
Here's to hoping.
Because the build has been spectacular.
Absolutely. I loved the little heel jab that we got out of Drew McIntyre. It's like Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, one of the biggest matches in the world, except it's too big for Green Bay.
Yeah.
Like just a little jab. Like not really working the big heel, but just like if you're smart enough, you'll catch it. Like it's but yeah, no, that match is going to be huge. We had a brawl between Damian Priest and Gunther, which is setting up that whole big meaty man slapping meat.
That match, just go ahead and take my money. Like when
absolutely.
you get the big man matches, there's a lot of them that are kind of plodding and slow. Nothing about either of these guys is plodding or slow. You've got very athletic big men.
Yep.
This is going to be a really violent match, and I am 100% here for it.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. SummerSlam coming up this weekend.
Yes.
Guess we'll be doing a SummerSlam recap next weekend. Oops.
SummerSlam and the G1. What have we done to ourselves?
I don't know, but we'll figure it out later. We had the arrival of Uncle. Jeez, good Lord. Uncle Howdy beating up Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. I guess it was just Chad. He hit Sister Abigail and Chad.
He ate the Sister Abigail, and talk about a pop when he pops up, because I mean the whole Wyatt Six at the top of the ramp.
Yep.
And when he pops up behind, there's already just like crowds on their feet. And when he grabs Gable, and he did this beautifully, he sunk in the where he lays him down.
Yep.
And the crowd just like. And then he hits it and just boom. Because, I mean, like, look, I know people keep saying that, like, they're just cashing in off Bray, but, like, no, man, this is literally a younger brother getting to finish what his older brother didn't get to.
Right.
And I'm here for every second of it.
For sure. And then it needs to go without saying, Liv, Dom, Bria, love triangle. Just.
In the words of one Ron Simmons. Damn. I love what they're doing with this storyline, and if it does not end with custody of Dom in a ladder match, what are we doing?
Look, and we can put it on the prediction whiteboard. We can put it on the prediction board that I have over here. I see a Dom turn. I see a Dom said no to Liv just because Rio was standing there, but they talked backstage and was like, "Look, this is what we're gonna do." Um,
Because Liv is
but
not above acting. She is not above deceit. She is not
right,
above any of it. And if she's shown anything, she can play off of people's emotions incredibly well. And
right.
she can fake emotions incredibly well.
Well, and so that was the vibe I was getting with that long drawn hallway like camera angle. I
Hmm.
was expecting like a cry, 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 and then like either like a super angry face or like a smile.
Yeah, like
Which maybe if a
the
Dom turns
tears
happens, then
when
we
she
get
pulls the
like in a
hand.
video package or something later. I don't know,
Who
but
knows?
but
I
yeah,
could
that was
see
the
it,
vibe I was getting.
especially with Jay getting involved now, where like you're getting Jay Uso like going after Rhea,
Yeah.
and now you've got, I guess, the love rectangle,
Have you ever
the
seen an
love square.
Australian and Waffle House? That may happen faster than you think it is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. But did we end the night with Braun and Ilya?
No, we ended the night with that tag match between Judgment Day and Jay Uso and Sammy, which was
Right.
a fun match, but ultimately there's not a lot of like major story implication there. Like I said,
Yeah,
really fun match. You've got four incredibly talented guys in the ring.
absolutely.
People talk about JD just being the big headed guy in Judgment Day, but I mean Jordan Devlin was one of the best to come out of that that
Oh
UK
yeah,
scene,
yeah,
and I think he showed it there in that match. Like when he needed to make everyone look like a monster, he did. When he needed to get his stuff in, he did. I really hope that this kind of propels forward his career
absolutely.
because man, he's just too damn good.
He's great. And look, maybe it's a thing that we have the Judgment Day breaking up here soon. And if that's the
Maybe
case, then him and Finn are definitely going to stay together.
those two as like
Um,
a dominant tag team would be really fun
it'd
because
be
you've got
nice,
I mean they have similar style that came up in the same scene.
right?
It could be really fun.
Balor trained JD,
Yep.
so it could be good. It could be good. Um, that's pretty much it for Raw. We had a thing between Ilya and Braun where Ilya either legitimately knocked himself out or just made it look like he got knocked out, and it was a referee stoppage. Cool,
That
Braun Breaker, yay!
that spear into the
Um,
video board was nasty.
It wasn't great. But moving on, Tuesday night we had an NXT. Quick on NXT, we're pushing the Rascals and we're pushing Joe Hendry. TNA talent at NXT, yay!
NXTNA is real, and I'm kind
Apparently
of
so.
loving it. I kind of like
Apparently
it, you
so.
know.
But moving on super quick, Dynamite. This is the one that we're going to spend ages on, and I'm sorry that we're AEW marks. We try to be WWE marks, but they put on shows like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So what do you expect?
SummerSlam will probably get a lot in because usually they save for these big pay-per-views, but
Correct.
Blood and Guts felt like a pay-per-view on free TV.
Yes. So join us next week when we recap SummerSlam. Well, we're nerd over all that happened at SummerSlam. But until then, blood and guts for Dynamite. First off, we're going to skip the blood and guts match. We're going to go straight into Jericho and Suzuki. To all the haters, suck a fat one.
Yeah.
Listen here, all right? Yes, they are two old guys that probably shouldn't be slapping the tar out of each other as much as they are. But listen, they are two guys that still know exactly what they're doing. They do not need to be like old Yeller and brought out to the barn house. They are two guys that should have got out there and yes, maybe not slapped each other as much as they did. But they knew exactly what they were doing. They had the crowd in the palm of their hands. And they had them there for 15 to 20 minutes, which is absurd on free TV. But
Dude,
that is the case. Dylan, what do we got?
we had that match on at work, and we've one of the guys that works with us is a lapsed wrestling fan. He used to watch, and now he knows, he understands, but like he hasn't really watched with any sort of regularity in probably 15 years. He walks in just in time to see like the opening exchange of chops from those two, and he just stopped what he was doing and was locked on it. Like it's striking.
Yeah.
Literally, like it catches people that somebody's flipping the channels who's never seen wrestling before, and you're watching these two men just full force batter each other. There's something visually striking to the whole thing. Now, you could argue they lean too much onto the chop part. I'm one of the sickos that like that kind of thing. I can also see that it's like maybe they went a little too long before they got into the actual exchange of holds, the scrapping on the outside. Like I loved that match, but it could have lost about 4 minutes of chopping in the middle.
Correct. I agree with that. I
But
agree.
but at the same time, like I think those two were literally just there was definitely a point where you could see that it was like I think adrenaline kicked in. It was just like hit me harder, and then I hit you harder, and then you hit me harder, and these two were just they were feeling it so much, and you can't fake that. Like
Yeah,
they were feeling it in
absolutely.
more ways than one, but they were feeling it. I mean, Jericho getting his chest split from the chop, wild.
Yeah, good times. Looks like he bladed his chest. It was gnarly.
It was pretty gnarly.
Um.
Also, to open that show off, that MJF segment,
Oh
MJF
yes.
unveiling the new American Championship.
It's not an international title anymore. It's an American title.
At the beauty of MJF, he opens the show. They're cheering for him in Nashville, Tennessee.
Most
he
redneck
debuts.
American
He
place that you could be
debuts
in.
an American Championship in Nashville, Tennessee, and ends the segment with them booing him out of the building. If
Absolutely.
you don't think that this man is a genius, you are not paying attention.
Absolutely.
The comments he made about Will's grandmother, if they had not had a like, hey, I'm gonna say this beforehand. There's a what I'm gonna say the nastiest hidden blade in recorded history, coming for that man.
Oh, absolutely.
That match in Wembley is gonna be insane.
Gnarly.
But just the way that MJF set the whole thing up, started talking about like being an American hero, and then turning it to the crowd of like, but I'm not talking about Podunk, Nashville. I'm talking about the only part of America that matters: Plainview, Long Island, New York, and this just the barrage of boos. And then when he drops that giant American flag with his face as every star,
Yes.
and it blocks like half the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
The details in the stuff MJF does, just like he dropped that flag to intentionally block the view of most of the people.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
No, it's
He's such a perfectly hateable asshole.
and
He's
to have Will come in and just be like, listen here, it's gonna happen at Wembley. It's gonna happen on our own turf. We know how this match is gonna go. And by the time I say this, I'm gonna disagree with myself. But Will picks it up in international territory, in his own hometown, on home turf, just to lose it back in another 60-minute time limit draw in America, and that's okay. I'm okay with these decisions.
Look, I mean, Osprey, I think
Have them feud over that title for a very long time.
I think Osprey's kind of proven me wrong. Like when he took that loss to Swerve, that I was really against, because it's like neither man needed that.
Yeah.
Well, neither man needed to lose that match. So the run Swerve is on, like he could have beaten anybody else.
Yeah.
But I mean, it being Osprey meant something, so like he did gain from that. But I really thought that Osprey was going to lose momentum, taking the loss that he did. Turns around right into this MJF feud, and it's like, never mind. He just clicked into another gear.
Yep.
So if he takes a win, takes a loss, whatever, like what they're doing is so compelling, and just puts on bangers.
I'm really interested in what's going to make him tick. Like we talk about how like, oh yeah, no, he's going into this next gear and he's going into this next gear. We've seen him definitely not at his top gear. But like the fact that every match he hooks the arms and he goes up and he sits there and he's like, nah, I can't hit the Storm Driver. Cannot hit the Storm Driver. Who is going to be the dude that makes him hit that Storm Driver?
Personally, I think it's got to be Max. Or this is one of those things that like I wrestle with a lot, is if he finally hits it, is it a positive or a negative? Whereas to like, is it he hits it on like MJF and the crowd loses their absolute mind, Or it's a situation where like maybe that's where he finally turns. Like if like a debuting Ricochet comes in and he hits that Storm Driver on Ricochet, and then just chorus of boos. Like, is that where we see him turn the Killer on and the Killer goes on this face run? Or is this where he turns the Killer on and the Killer, like, starts the next version of the United Empire? That, like, evil, like...
See,
there's
the way I see it,
there's two paths they can take. There's, like, 20 paths they could take, really, but there's two paths they could take, and either one could be amazing.
you have Max, you have turn heel, and then I think smack dab in the middle of that is our good old friend Kyle Fletcher.
Oh, man.
Who is a little brother to Will Ospreay, and that's going to be nuts. But we've talked about Will Ospreay and Maxwell enough. Fast forward to Blood and Guts. Very end of the match, like last, hour 20, 15, something.
It was
a long
I think
match.
it was under an hour, but not by a lot. Like, I think it was like 45, 50 minutes.
Okay.
But, I mean... my immediate takeaway was like the second they put the Acclaimed in this, they put Okada in this. Those were like the three that I looked at. I was like, these are guys not known for doing hardcore spots. And when the Acclaimed were taking like when they did the barbed wire wrapped scissor,
Yep.
the scissor me timbers off the top with the barbed wire, when they sandwiched Bowens with 2 barbed wire boards and he took a splash, like the Acclaimed leaned into the hardcore stuff, and it's, to me, I always kind of love when you've got guys that are not known for it that click into it for a big moment, and I think those were big moments.
Yeah.
I mean, that was so. Max Caster coming out, and I kind of jokingly said when he came out, I was like, his microphone's hot, but he's not rapping. What's he going to do? And when he rolls right in and boom,
you have the big microphone pop.
Boom.
Yeah.
And he gets that, like, that, and the whole crowd just, ooh. And then he had the chain. I was like, please hit somebody with the chain.
Immediately
And he
takes
wraps
it off,
it and just starts
pops.
throwing. Like, amazing.
It was great. To roll through what we got, we started out with Jack Perry and Darby. Which quickly turned into Jack Perry and Nick versus Darby. And even when Darby was one-on-one, it seemed that he was just getting his shit rocked the whole time.
Which is what he is great at.
Absolutely.
He
and
is
then
very destroyable.
That turned into Bowens coming in, which turned into Matt coming in. So you had the Young Bucks and Jack Perry versus Matt Bowens and Darby Allin. No, correction. I'm sorry. Darby Allin, then Mark Briscoe.
then Bowens.
And then after the Bucks were in, then Bowens comes in. Okada is after that. And then Max Caster. And then the music hits for good old Hangman. And Hangman doesn't come out. And we're like, all right, cool. Great. And then Swerve's music hits. And Swerve comes get halfway down the ramp. And here comes Hangman. Because he only has one goal in mind. And that's to tear Swerve's head right off of his shoulders. Which I loved. It was great.
I loved Hangman attacking him on the ramp, and I mean, he literally handcuffs Swerve to the outside of the cage so he can't get in.
Yep, he does that, and then it's almost. I actually have it in a sense of he didn't care about Swerve getting in or staying out. I think it was just one of those things that he just wanted him handcuffed down so that he could just beat the absolute tar out of him.
And that's what he was doing.
Fists being thrown, and finally Matt grabs the microphone and goes, "Hey, this wasn't part of the plan. Either get in here or you're fired." So Hangman stops, he gets in the ring, and then immediately goes face to face with Okada. Like pops a couple of guys and then turns right back around and goes face to face with Okada. Like, hey, just a reminder, these guys got beef.
When we finally get Hangman Okada in AEW, it is going to be unreal.
I will comment on that in a minute. All right. And then, which turns into Hangman doing a buckshot lariat onto Okada to have the whole spillaway waterfall crap, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and then Swerve comes in through shenanigans via Billy Gunn, Jeff Jarrett, which still have no idea why Jeff Jarrett was there.
You know why Jeff Jarrett was there? Because Jeff Jarrett has to be involved at this point.
Correct.
I will sidebar quickly. Like when Danielson's cutting the promo about this matchup coming at Wembley and everything, and Jeff Jarrett comes in to do the whole like, "Hey man, I know you've had a 20-something year career where you've been one of the best in the world, but I want to tell you, you got heart, kid. You might be something someday." And I'm like, Jeff Jarrett, just get out of the way. Go back to doing what you've been doing like that.
Right.
You don't need the seal of approval, guys who are about to retire.
Right.
Go give that rub to somebody younger, somebody that's on their way up. Like Bryan Danielson's that guy. He's been that guy since like 2005. He didn't need that.
It is what it is.
But Jeff's got to be involved right now.
But Jeff comes down, and then Billy comes down, and clearly Jeff was struggling to get the handcuffs off of Swerve because good old Prince Nana comes down with like pliers, like wire cutters,
bolt cutters, yeah.
Which are clearly like, but they're not quite bolt cutters. They're just like the smaller.
Right. They're like the little diagonal cutters.
Yeah. And he comes down, and you can tell that he's down, and he goes, "Oh crap! This isn't the like they were supposed to have the cuffs off by now." Because like I think the bit was supposed to be get the cuffs off, and then have Swerve go, "How am I supposed to get in?" And then Nana come down with the things. Mm-hmm. And because they struggled so long on the freaking handcuffs that it just quickly turned into, I have cuffs off, cut, in. And
because,
it was great.
I mean, pro wrestling, man, you make plans and then the match laughs. Like
it is a great night when 85% of what you have planned comes to fruition.
Hey, 85's a passing grade, man.
Correct.
And you know what? Sometimes the best stuff is what happens in the uncertainty. Because
yes.
I think just like Nana running down, I got a good laugh out of it because it really did feel like we can't get about. Nana's like backstage and just like, what's the closest thing to me? All right, I'm coming. Because they played it like that. Yep. Like Nana was just like watching him struggle. It's just like, hold on, I'm coming with the pliers.
Yeah.
They played it well, man. They played it well.
No, very much so. And then Swerve gets in, does Swervy stuff. Fantastic multi-man staple gun moment just to have him laugh. I'm like, why do we not have sadistic Swerve? Like, I could get behind sadistic Swerve.
Swerve had a hell of a run in CZW that a lot of people don't really remember. And he was not like, he was one of those guys that he did death matches sparingly in there, which I think, right. Like the Ricky Shane Page rule, like red equals green if you don't do it every day.
Right.
He would really wait for a situation to be like, this is the only way. And then he put on the most violent, sadistic death match you've ever seen. So it's in him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't abuse it, and I think that was a great time to pull out them hitting him with the staple gun. And I was like, you forget this guy was a deathmatch guy. This is kind of a playground he's used to being in.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He's been in Cage of Death, man. Like this.
Right. Yeah. He's very familiar with this territory. We had a great spot where Bowens falls through a bunch of tables.
Looked so good.
Looked great. It really looked great.
You could tell it was good because my immediate reaction was, oh my God, he broke his neck. And then you watch the second one and he falls just right.
Yep.
To where it's like the tables broke the fall perfectly and he landed, I mean, as safe as you can, falling 30 feet through tables.
Correct.
Which it's just tells you again, like, that's a dude who's not been in that situation. And like, that's just wrestling. That's instinct and knowledge, man. Like that was awesome.
Correct. But yeah, we had Okada down and out, I'm pretty sure because of Hangman's buckshot. A few more moves hit, but finish of the match is really what we're here to talk about.
Yep.
Because it moves our prediction counter up further. So, finish of the match, good old Mark Briscoe, who was doing all the redneck kung fu and Briscoe deathmatch BS that you could find in this match. Handcuffs Jack Perry to the cage, and we're sitting here going, well, how is this gonna go? Because the only way for this match to finish is by saying I quit or submission. So we know how this is gonna go. Jack Perry is gonna take a couple of shots from a kendo stick, something, and then he's just gonna say, "I quit." And I'll leave the one per episode to you to talk about what came to Jack Perry, if you want to go ahead.
I will go ahead and say what came to Jack Perry is the absolute biggest motherfucker of an unprotected chair shot I have seen in recent memory outside of like a GCW show.
It was disgusting.
The the rumor and innuendo is they shaved that chair down or whatever, and it shaved down or not, people in the cheap seats were wincing from the sound of that chair shot. That
Absolutely. Sounded like a gunshot.
It sounded like a gunshot, and if I want anybody to hit me unprotected in the head with a chair, it's Mark Briscoe, because Mark Briscoe is going to make it look and sound like $1,000,000.
Yep. It's either Mark Briscoe or Nick Gage.
And it's gonna feel like you just took a chair across your forehead.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not gonna. The worst thing in the world to take is a soft unprotected chair shot, because then people looking at it go like, oh, that looked like crap, and you just rung your bell.
Yeah.
He laid it in.
Yes, he did.
He laid it in.
And then that turns into, Perry, do you quit? No. I really wanted him to say, go cry me a river, but that's just me being a mark. And then, so Darby goes, okay, hold on. And then spends 5 minutes underneath the ring searching for a gas can and lighter.
Which I think we talked about this off air. I liked the finish. I liked the idea of like Darby has literally set this man on fire, and Darby is ready to do it again if it means getting what he wants.
Correct.
But the 5 minutes of digging under the ring, I'm like, guys, could nobody just go in and start laying body shots on him? Like, you gotta.
Right.
I mean, and I think that's kind of like we're saying. Like, if it's a great night, if you get
Well,
85% of the play-in.
I'm pretty sure that's where the chair shot came in.
The chair shot,
or
I think, was
kendo or something.
The chair shot was supposed to set that up. So the chair shot was to have him like out long enough for Darby
I think
to
Briscoe
grab the
started
gas.
to realize how long it was taking and like tried to get like one or two more in.
And I think he started kind of like maybe some body shots happened. I don't remember because I was just so like, where's Darby? What's going on? And it did take away a little bit from what I thought was, like I said, that chair shot, and then between chair shot and like Darby literally dousing Jack Perry in what we believe to be gasoline, and then holding the lighter up. Also, I think probably the most effective way I've ever seen someone get the match they wanted, because he used this time while he had the audience of our EVPs.
Well, so I love it because it was dousing gasoline, and then I have a lighter, and then he looks around and goes, I don't have a microphone. So he spends another 2 minutes looking for a microphone, and then grabs a microphone and goes, hey, you either say I quit or I'll light you on fire. And then Matt turns around and goes, what do you want? I want my TNT title match, but you have to say I quit first. Like, okay, cool, you've got the TNT title. I was like, okay, cool, go ahead and say I quit so I can light this guy on fire. And he says I quit. Darby drops the thing. But, so now we have Darby versus Jack, I think at Wembley. Did they say that or not?
Yes, he said at Wembley.
Okay, so that's going to happen at Wembley. We have...
Hopefully this Wembley outing ends better for Jack Perry than his last one.
Oh my gosh. Here's the hoping, right? I'm sure it's going to be a big shenanigans. I'm sure if they don't pull out the car with a real glass windshield again.
I mean, anyway. Look, there's ways you could lean into it. And there's ways you could lean into it without being painfully obvious. And I think they'll do the first one, not the second one.
Yes,
but
yeah. So let's talk about everything that we get out of this blood and guts. So we get TNT title match, Jack Perry versus Darby Allin.
Yes.
We know that a tag title match between the Acclaimed and the Young Bucks are coming. I don't know if it's at Wembley. If I had to guess, that All Out, that's 2 weeks later.
So I'm kind of thinking about this because I think it was last week on Collision, FTR, like they returned the week before to save the new Dynamite Kid. New British Bulldog.
Yes.
Davey Jr., but he's the nephew, not the son. I forget his shoot name. But so they come out to save him, and then the following week on Collision, they talk about like reclaiming what's theirs, and they talk about going after the Bucks. And so my immediate was like, oh, come on, man. Like, this thing with the Acclaimed has built up. And they kind of acknowledge, like, that our road to the Young Bucks starts now. And if we have to go through the Acclaimed, so be it.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of wondering if that's not one of those. I think we've talked about predictions for, like, Swerve, where it's like he's got this at all in, this at all out. I could see that being a, like, Bucks Acclaimed at all in, and then, like, winner gets FTR at all out.
Yeah.
Or the Bucks even doing the step of like, you wanna face us for the titles? Well, all in, it's you versus FTR. Winner gets us at all out. So the Bucks don't have the two matches because they're. I mean, look,
makes sense. They're EVPs.
They're EVPs. They can wield that power. So you now have a compelling storyline where you don't know which team is going to get it, but both teams want it and both teams have a shot for it, like a right to be there.
Right.
So you've got two compelling contenders for the tag titles.
Absolutely.
And two big shows coming up,
which will be fun. Continue on. Briscoe. I think Briscoe was kind of just there. I think Briscoe was just kind of having fun.
Briscoe in life is there for the good time. You could tell like with the promos he's cutting backstage, with him still being part of the conglomeration. I think probably the greatest stable in sports entertainment
at this point.
I think Briscoe is there for. You look, I'm wearing the shirt. I'll give you this.
Thanks.
But I mean, like, I think Briscoe didn't need anything in this match other than just to show up, be Mark Briscoe, give some muscle to Team AEW, and I guarantee you he's going to be doing something compelling soon because anytime they put him on TV, it's gold.
Absolutely. And then Swerve kind of just does his swervy stuff. We know what's coming up next for Swerve. We don't quite know if it's an all-out situation. We definitely know it's an all-in situation against Bryan Danielson.
So my hope with that one, kind of like we just talked about with the Bucks tag titles thing, I kind of hope that there's a Hangman interference at all in, but I hope it is after the match is concluded because I want to see Swerve and Danielson get that moment. That's two guys from that Seattle scene. Swerve, you could tell, like, looked up to Danielson coming up because, like, there's a lot of stuff that he does that feels very Danielson-esque.
Right.
And that feels like if anybody is going to retire Danielson from full-time competition, because that is the swirl, is that, like, this year is definitely his last full-time year, and I think that's his last full-time, like, date.
We'll see.
So if Swerve's the one to retire him, I think you give Danielson his moment. Have like the send off, and then after Danielson clears curtain, as Swerve goes to come up the curtain, Hangman comes ripping down.
Yep.
And you set up a match at All Out because Swerve's got a full dance card, man. You got to be a fighting champion.
I could see it, but also we did have some stuff between Hangman and Okada. Now, look, they could be playing the long game, but Hangman definitely hit Okada, which makes me feel like they have a match coming up soon.
And if that happens at Wembley, just, again, you already got my money, but go ahead and take it.
Yes, indeed.
When they touch, it's going to be amazing. Like,
absolutely. But other than that, I think that was all the participants. I could see... I think they are feeding Wembley big pops.
Yes.
I think that is what they want, is the big pops. It doesn't matter who it is. I don't think every match will end in a pop, but I think every match will have a pop. And what I mean by that is I believe that if we are going to have a match between Hangman and Okada happens, Okada wins via shenanigans, whatever the crap happens. Probably elite shenanigans. And we have good old Mr. Omega return.
Boy, wouldn't that be something, huh?
That would be something. He said a couple of months when he first came back and then got injured. He said in a couple of months we can run it. So I could see an Omega return, and then I don't see an Omega Okada happening at All Out, but I could see there's potential for.
No, I think that would be too quick. I think like
Yeah.
if Hangman does pop back up at Wembley, I think you still give it a few weeks. Look, I love Kenny Omega. He is one of my top 5 all time. Don't rush him back. Like if the way they have to play it is the Bucks have to keep feeding him people. Like, well, now you got to beat this person. Fine, give him like 10 tune-up matches before him and Okada go to absolute war like
Right.
we know they can, because I mean they've gone an hour 30.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a 15-minute match between those two. Build to that one, man. If it's the Okada's the carrot on the stick for the next 6 months for him, great.
So be it.
Because sometimes a slow burn makes it even better.
And we need him back because let's be honest with ourselves, we need an Omega Ospreay 3.
That one,
So-
man. Set that one up for Wembley next year.
It's dude, it's either that or Dynasty
Yeah.
in Tokyo. So we shall see. But that is the Blood and Guts pay-per-view on Wednesday night television.
On free TV, folks. Come on.
Now let's talk about SmackDown. All right, we're moving on to Rampage. No, let's be real. SmackDown, they're just continuing on stories that are obviously happening at SummerSlam this weekend. We are dealing with Nia Jackson, Bayley, and Tiffany Stratton doing her little side thing as Tiffy in the Bank. We're continuing on Solo Sikoa and Cody at SummerSlam, which I really hope opens the night, but it probably won't. We also have the Bloodline facing DIY or DIXY or whatever the crap they're calling themselves now. This Friday on SmackDown for the tag titles. So that'll be... I hope that's good because I believe that is, if I saw correctly, that is Tonga and Loa, not Tonga and Fatu.
Ooh.
So if it's Tonga and Loa, we're literally getting Gorillas of Destiny versus DIY, which I love.
This feels like I'll probably say this term a lot. This feels like a 2K My Universe match.
Yep.
Kind of like when we got to that Dynamite episode we went to where we got to see Punk face Penta.
Correct.
It was like this feels like I was sitting at my Xbox going like, what would be the wildest combination I could get? Gorillas of Destiny versus DIY. Send it.
Yes, sir.
We toss dream match around a lot. That kind of feels like a dream match.
It's definitely it's a fantasy booking match. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
It's a
agree.
fantasy booking match. It's something that you back in so many years ago thought would be great and will probably never happen. This match. And here we are in modern day, because why wouldn't it? Before long, we're going to get to the point that we can make clones of old school wrestlers, and we're going to have like Andre the Giant face off against Big Show or something.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's got to be like 50 years in the future from now, right? We have to be there where the licensing and likenesses of clones can be a thing.
scientists get on it.
But who knows? WWE investments.
Look, man, I
Don't call me because I'm not a scientist. But for real though, SmackDown was just on a lull.
we're like I said, we're in a holding pattern, and I think like the Bloodline has complete control over SmackDown, for better or for worse. I think this is where we're at, and I think that like you're not just on a random Friday night stopping the Bloodline.
Yep.
So I think very much any time that a major thing is going to happen, it is going to be on a big stage. And we've got a pretty big one coming up.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to Rampage. Not a lot happening here. We've talked about how this is basically a house show. They had the Royal Rampage Battle Royal, I think is what it was. Darby Allin is going to Grand Slam to face the AEW champion, Swerve, which we had mentions of a promo, how they're like, hey, we don't like each other. I love it. Darby basically does anything to kill himself, and Swerve does everything to kill other people. So,
and they have history through Defy and that
correct.
Pac Northwest scene, so that match is going to be solid.
It'll be great. We just because I love to mention it, we had a Kyle Fletcher match where Kyle Fletcher went over. I don't know who was in it. I don't know who his tag partner was, but that happened.
Kyle Fletcher goes over, baby. Bring back Mark Davis, please. You got to heal up, Mark.
We'll briefly talk about. Well, I guess we had Death Before Dishonor. We had a bunch of title matches at Ring of Honor. Some switches, some not switches. I didn't watch it. We may go back and watch it and comment on it.
I want to go back and watch it. I had some family stuff that night, so I didn't have time to watch it. But I mean, I've heard that Lee Moriarty won the Pure Championship off of Wheeler, and if that is what it takes for us to get Lee Moriarty taken as seriously as he was in like GCW and the Indies, Lee Moriarty is unbelievably talented. He's just not. He's one of those guys that hasn't been utilized because he doesn't have like I guess a true character.
Yeah.
But I think he's a guy kind of like Gresham, where it's like, if he needs a character, go ahead and give him one. But I mean, he's just a rock solid match every time. Absolutely. You could pencil him in for 4 stars.
And then something that happened during that was an eliminator match for the Ring of Honor 6-man or trios tag titles, which we can fast forward to Collision on Saturday. And the big thing that happened there was, in fact, the Von Erichs and Dustin Rhodes picking up the Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles, coming out and celebrating. I think we are close to the last hurrah for Dustin.
I think so too.
I think having Dusty and Von, like the Rhodes and Von Erich name combine forces and have this big celebration, I really think this is the last hurrah. The last thing that Dustin could do for his father's legacy versus Cody, who is literally holding a championship his father never held. So, yeah, I think it'll be good times.
I think if you give Dustin a one more good run, I think it could be great.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, he's obviously not as quick as he used to be, but like when they drag him out, I kind of say like they pull him out like once every 6 months for like, hey, we need you to go to Absolute War and bleed all over the place, and he's just like, yes, sir.
You got it, boss.
Like that match he had with Perry, man, it was like that was the take him out, beat the bejesus out of him, and the crowd's behind him because I mean it's Dustin, man. Like they want to see him win, and so it breaks your heart when you see him lose.
Yes. But I think he's on the trickle down. I don't think he's going to leave the wrestling business. I think he just may slow down when it comes to him working, even more so than what he's doing now.
Yeah.
I hear he's a great coach.
Oh no, like he's a guy with a great mind for it.
Shout out to Corey Constantine, who was coached by Dustin Rhodes.
I hear that guy's an asshole.
He's a real prick, but he's also a decent guy.
Yeah, for an asshole, he's a pretty good dude.
Yeah. Unlike Hunter Law, who's just a dick.
I still contend he shouldn't have kicked you in the head, but whatever.
I may have a couple of teeth loose. We'll figure it out later. But all in all, that was the week. And if we really want to talk about what happened on Saturday, I lost. Done.
There was some more stuff that happened out in other matches in the night. So keep an eye on 225 Unleashed. That was
tune into Pro Wrestling 225 Unleashed on the YouTubes. We have put a link. Correction. We will put a link down because we're going to be moving into a watch along. I completely forgot about. Surprise! Watch along.
We have an on-air resurrection.
I thought that this was the 225 match. It is not. We are going to be watching the Back Nine Brawl between Alex Braddock, myself, and Dale Springs, my good buddy, former rival.
Back from the dead.
Is one heck of a match. But yes, let's just go ahead and move on into the Back Nine Brawl. None other, resurrected from the dead, the Golf Father, the uncalled Pin Seeker, the also uncalled Dream Maker, Dale Springs himself. Dale, how we doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Retirement has been treating me well. I know y'all paid me a pretty penny to get on here, so thank you, Dylan, for that.
Hey, man, you got to pad that envelope.
Someone had to get you off the Bushwood. That's
yeah.
So
Out the bunker.
But we are going to be watching none other than the Back Nine Brawl between Dale Springs and Alex Braddock. Dale, you know me. You are one of my buddies, especially nowadays, tag teaming together. But a lot of people didn't know that we fought before all of that came to fruition. So run us through what is going on before this match, before we start watching. What is going on?
So basically, you became my caddy around like 2020, 2021. We took our talents after Elevate decided to just one show and done.
To a company in Florida.
Yes, we went to a company in Florida. We even did a Mississippi show at some point. At the same time, I'll go ahead and win the CWF championship after winning the Voltage opportunity. And then on the night that I can't even remember, I'm gonna be honest with you. It
has been a very long time, and
a while.
I am not a wrestling historian, but I am a historian of myself because I am a mark.
I will say I have it on my phone. I'm just not gonna be that person right now.
No, it's fine.
You guys are taking some headshots.
So you want me to take my time? Let's see.
Yeah, let's run it. Let's see how long we've got, or if I can do it in 5 minutes. But it's okay.
So here we go. This is how my list is. So I literally, since I started wrestling,
got some highlights.
I literally,
careful, don't scroll too far.
Literally, that's all my matches I ever written down.
Patreon
results where
Dude, that is nuts.
Dude, that's crazy.
I was like Chris Jericho in this shit, and then that's some just extra shit. Anyway. So I did write down when I won the title. March 19th. Should have known that. Should have known that.
You should have, but it's okay because May was a fun time that kicked off what would eventually be Alex Braddock versus Dale Springs.
Yes, we I got the title got to my head. You made me lose a few times, non-title, but I was just being a dickbag. So I kicked you to the curb, hit you with my driver, and
in more than one sense.
Yeah, literally.
Wow.
With a driver off the deck, and as well as an actual golf club driver. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Maybe we can find that picture at some point and we can show them.
Yeah, we'll figure it out through the power of video editing. But anyway, moving on into this match, we had a singles match together that I won via roll-up. Complete surprise after getting absolutely destroyed by you the entire freaking time. You weren't going to lay down that easily, though. Within the next weeks, you were finding me while I was on dates with my wife and beating the tar out of me. Which turned into me challenging you for the title, which then turned into you coming into my apartment and beating the snot out of me again.
Well, I'm sorry that you gave me your address when we were good.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you now, I apologize for trespassing.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that. I'm glad you now apologized. But
it took a couple years.
Moving into it, you said you had one stipulation, and that was a Back Nine Brawl. And so now we are here. We are in the moment. Dylan, if you want to go ahead and just kick it off, we can talk while some entrances are going on.
27 minutes. I think we actually wrestled for 23?
It was anywhere from 20 to 25 for sure, because I think we were bringing the curtain down. I think we were giving 30, I think. It was close.
I mean, we were the main event.
Yeah.
Right. We were the end of the night. Dude, those lights. I'm glad I didn't have to
look. I know we may not like a certain company. Oh, wait. I'm not a wrestler anymore. Since we don't like CWF, I can't hate on them for having that kind of setup. The TVs, they eventually use the TVs to, show the name of the show and it's moving, or better yet, they should be showing each matchup on one of the TVs. That would be great. But yeah, they had a pretty nice setup compared to a lot of other places we've worked.
yes, this company's production value was quite high. They cherished their production value for sure.
Other than this one, I honestly want to say the second Double Jeopardy, top tier.
Oh yeah, and maybe we'll watch that in the future.
Yeah.
All right,
Maybe.
so right there, I definitely yelled Botchamania at you. I don't know
Yeah,
if you heard
that was. I remember that vividly, and I remember yelling. It's just a thing. We're just gonna keep moving. Gonna get moving. Gonna have a fun night.
To your credit, you roll right past it like it didn't happen, and I was proud of you for that.
Oh yeah, treat it like nothing happened.
I love how I didn't let anybody know about this. I mean, besides you, but
You didn't tell me.
Oh, I thought I told you.
No, you told me at the end of the night.
No, I did. I kept you
Because-
out the loop.
Well, no, I think I just didn't hear it because he played it multiple times, and so we talked about you coming out to the Rooster. But when we got to the arena, the production guy goes, "Hey, I want to hear me out for a second," and plays the edit of your Caddyshack song, starts playing, and then the little boo 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 boo, and then it kicks into the Rooster.
That was amazing. I think that compared to, my last match with them, with Robert, no, not my last match. When I just came back, when I almost won their mid-card title, on accident. On accident. I made a little video, which I told you what my idea was. It was the heartbeat from Tiger Woods PGA Tour 06, where when you try to sink a long putt, it gives you that heartbeat. Go boom, 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 boom. So I was like, what if I do that? But it's like me about to tee off, and then the camera pans to my face, and I said, "Do you miss me?" Take that swing, goes to black, play the music. And I thought that was amazing.
Which, did we actually end up letting that happen? Did that happen? I can't remember.
Barely. But
Yeah,
it worked.
It was rough. I remember filming.
I think I was crying.
I was
think
there
I
to film
crying
it.
right here.
Oh, absolutely.
You 100% were.
Absolutely. Bawling your freaking eyes out.
Trying not
I was
to,
yelling
trying
stuff
not
to mess with you, and you didn't even budge.
You didn't
I was
budge.
pretty loud.
So
I mean,
I didn't
we
notice.
yelled across buildings to each other.
I didn't notice until right there. Right there is when I went, oh crap. We're playing with fire here.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll say after the match what was going to happen, because they're not going to show it in this video. I don't think. I think on the footage I have, we let it go past the match, right?
yes.
I think they actually do have the finish, like all the way through on this one.
So we have the promo, and then they also have the carnage that happened after.
Oh, well, then never mind.
Well, so I don't know if they have the promo that happened after though. I think they completely threw that out. But yes, while when this
Makes no
concludes, we
sense.
can talk about everything that happened at the end.
Yeah. Because
So-
we can get to why I was kind of getting teared up and whatnot.
Yes, absolutely. But ditch the hat. This was before I had the hair.
Oh no, not the hair.
Was growing it out, and
not the hair.
Hated it. Hated the fact that I was growing out my hair, and still hate it.
Just gotta let it grow, man.
This intro was nuts.
Hey, I've told him a bunch of times. I really wish I never cut my hair, because I really enjoyed my long hair. I don't know. I was just trying to focus so hard.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why, like,
Dude,
I didn't let
in
I
this
didn't mess with the
intro,
crowd or nothing.
we did not break eye contact the whole time.
I wanted to laugh.
No, it was
I
tense.
wanted to
Oh,
laugh.
absolutely, absolutely.
It was so tense in that building because, I realized probably 30, 45 seconds in, like, oh, they're not breaking eye contact through any of this. It's just like arm hair standing.
Yeah,
up.
shout
It
out
was awesome.
to that old little thing that I used to do, the Alex Braddock logo.
You were
If I
gonna
can
try to
do
get
it
that
right.
over, man.
I was going to try, and then the pillar came about, so I don't have to worry about it now. I love this, and after this little moment, Dylan, we can give some context on what you have for this match.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance. I brought some of the plunder into this match myself, and I regret nothing.
Instantly, that shot right there, that second shot you gave me, black eye, swollen eye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was the first punch you gave me not enough to give you a black eye? Because
Well,
I came,
listen,
I
you
came
got this
in
close.
and popped you, and I was like, we're fine. Bam! I was like, okay. I was like,
Well,
we're playing that game. That's
You
fine.
got no. I wasn't gonna do that. You just got this close. I was like, oh my gosh, let me give
Yeah.
him one to like get him to back off.
Absolutely. No,
But
it was a
obviously,
good
I know.
time. So,
know
okay,
you
so
weren't trying
while
to.
this is happening, geez, there's too many stories to tell during this.
Man.
Dylan, quickly, give me the context for why this is this is an important match for you.
So this is actually the first time that I
It's
was
a Bucky.
in the
I forgot
building.
about this.
I love this spot.
I called it. Yeah.
So this is the first time I was in the building to watch you wrestle. I'd watched this, the video footage after, but this is the first time I got to be in the room. And we drove to Florida. We got front row seats. We were there because I was just excited to support you, and you being good at this actually kind of makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I say it's fun to support your friends in something that you love. It's better when they're good at it.
At least
that-
at least being decent at it.
love how
I
there
mean,
was
look,
no
I said
commentary.
good, not great, man. Come on, you got room to grow.
Well, so there was a second guy for commentary, right?
Yeah, but he never said
he just
anything
never talked until
Donnie
Donnie
got
got
back.
back. Yup. Donnie Harris, phenomenal ring announcer. I give him props.
He's funny.
A little context to this. So we did the Bucky spot, which it kind of just so happened willy-nilly that we had one side where there were kids. So we did the Bucky spot on the side with the kids, and then we pulled out the ladder, and the whole time my wife is in the front row freaking out, thinking I'm about to get hit with a ladder.
So
She closed her eyes. She closed her eyes.
So the beautiful, just things working out the way they should. The people that bought the seats next to us never showed. So she was working your table. We actually brought her to come sit with us on the front row for this. So she got to be right there.
Yeah.
And it also worked out because I could kind of, not that you guys are not just in ungodly pain, but I could kind of tell if you're injured or not injured. So I'm kind of having to give her the little tap on the knee and like a thumbs up, like, hey, he's not dead. Don't worry.
Hey,
we
look,
used to
it's
mess
the
with her so hard.
thumbtacks. It's the thumbtacks, and then I grab
I'm
the
so
thumbtacks, and I go, wait, hold on, this is too soon. And I'm like, where the fuck?
You got to build.
No,
to
look,
let this-
look. Dude, I called. I think we planned to do it the ladder flat, and I said, screw that. If I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna just take it.
Oh,
I told you to put that
I
up.
didn't know. So the suplex on the ladder, I didn't know you moved it until you were up. I got you up and looked back and went crap and quickly just dumped you.
Oh, I still hit it, but no, dude, I'm so mad
Oh,
about
you hit
this.
it.
That they would not let us use the plastic tees or even wooden ones. Like, even if I was gonna go through it, like, let me do it. Like, I
Dude, that would
For
have
what?
100%
I wouldn't
let
care.
you
What was the
Y'all
idea
would've
again?
and like, we want to like thumbtacks or something. He's like, no thumbtacks, and I was like, let's do some tees,
Right.
plastic or wooden, and he still said no.
Look, I'm a bit of a deathmatch guy. So there's
I
a
would've been
couple of
down
spots
for
in
it.
here where we were like, oh yeah, no, like we'll do stupid deathmatch spots that are not deathmatch. And if you would have brought golf tees, I loved that. I
Yes.
After embarrassing myself twice to putting you those golf balls in the nuts, I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna throw one at him because why not?
I was just glad you didn't throw it at my face. I was gonna get. So
Oh, I
mad.
wasn't gonna do that. I have a good enough aim.
Would have been a
but
real
then
Back Nine Brawl.
What comes in later in that bag?
Yes.
I really wish we'd have had a lot more, but that's economy.
Inflation and whatnot.
Yeah,
Tough time.
economy is
Inflation.
definitely the word that we can use for that one.
Yeah, let's just use that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, we've got this. I'm trying to find you, moving some stuff around. I have no idea where
I
you're
just
at.
kept moving.
And golf club.
Hey, I wanted to make it look hard, but as well, I was like, I do not want to break this.
No, it looked like a good shot.
I think those are all my trash clubs that I still have in my storage shed out back.
Some of them, but not all of them. Those drivers, except one, and then the one I hit you with, I think was literally my 9-iron. So I hit you with the 9-iron twice.
With it twice.
Oh,
A little amen corner.
Clean.
aiming corner, but I see the bag.
Oh, but what's in the bag? What's in the box?
What's in the bag? My reaction is hilarious.
Oh, I loved it.
What's in that little black bag? Oh my God.
Dude, the people behind me when those Legos poured out, like, started freaking out, and it made it so much better.
Oh yeah.
See, if there was more of those, I would freak out.
Oh yeah.
I would need one of those.
Here's your deathmatch
Yeah,
spot.
they're
I was
definitely.
like, please don't. I was like, please don't spit this out yet.
Oh, I knew when I was supposed to.
The old
Yeah, I
Sam
knew what I was doing, bro.
Callahan boot to the face.
I said I need you to do this. Peeling back behind the curtain, when we talked behind this, I said it's got to be done.
Watch this. I don't like this ref. I mean, cool guy overall, but like
He's a great guy.
too fast of a count. I think I've watched this way too many times just to
Well,
like.
it's a little bit of a fast count, and it's also, I will fully admit, this is my third or fourth match in my career, which is nuts to think about because of how much time we spent together in these shows. But
Side note.
it's a little bit. Go ahead.
Side note: if you overheard the fans, or not, I mean y'all's people, not the fans out there. When I went out to the back, outside the ring, I go to Bucky and I say, "You did this over a peanut." Because the whole context of the Bucky thing was that I was putting pictures of Bucky on my Instagram. He was always with me, and then I was low key trying to get a sponsorship, but they didn't want to do it. So yeah.
Cover my Bucky logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, no Bucky. No Buckies.
No
The
free,
Victory Roll Wrestling Podcast, the one show that's not sponsored by Bucky's.
Not yet.
Not yet. We can work on it.
So this right here, we talked about the deathmatch spots. The bar fight is one of my favorite deathmatch spots.
And I remember you slapped the ever-loving tar out of me.
I just wanted you to get mad. I wanted you to get into it
Yeah, and then
did.
you wanted to complain that I hit you too hard.
a few times.
I like the
I
commentary.
really
says
wish
they just want each other to
that
bleed
line wasn't said because
you couldn't.
but I don't think Donnie knew we couldn't
Say what?
bleed. I don't think Donnie knew that we couldn't bleed. Like I think he was expecting blood.
I think everybody in the room was.
Oh,
you guys
yeah,
took
very
spots
much
on
so.
Legos and everything. Like, why would you not?
Very much so.
Have you ever stepped on a Lego? Jesus.
Yes.
Oh no. I remember
Me and
now.
Braxton
This,
tried to.
Oh, dude.
You don't remember that? We literally.
I remember.
We
Oh,
tried
I
to.
remember.
We tried to get the blade.
And both of
we
y'all,
hit 'em,
both of y'all were
and we couldn't do
sweating
it.
so hard that nothing happened.
No, he tried to first, and he couldn't. And I was like, "Well, never mind. I'm just not gonna do it."
Thanks for hitting me, by the way,
You're welcome.
because we're here for way too long.
Yeah, you're in that corner a minute.
Well, we have been whooping each other's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to be PG
I should have
as
kept
possible.
kept that heat in.
I wish you would have threw me into that low key.
I probably
So,
should.
yeah.
Like I know like obviously we never like talked about it, but like since you had it set up, I could have
Right,
tried to
yes.
throw you in and then you reverse that. Would have been cool.
There's a
So-
lot of
so a little
things that
context,
if Dale Springs ever gets resurrected again, we can maybe run. You're enjoying
So-
your retirement and
I'm
The
enjoying it.
kendo stick spots here, man. The kendo stick shots here.
I was fine with them.
I made the mistake of getting you guys the actual bamboo. So I'm like, if I get them the wood and this thing snaps, like somebody's getting cut up.
mistake.
And so the bamboo just really, it swung nice and it
Sound
stuck
good.
you up pretty good.
This.
This was awesome.
Yes.
And Dylan, you can go ahead and tell your funny story after it happens. It's one of the greatest moments of the night. A little low blow.
Hey, low key, that hurt. Not gonna lie, it kind of hurt.
Okay, for about 30 seconds, I forgot what you're talking about. That you pulled the cup.
Yep.
Dude, so you throw the cup into the crowd, and there's a guy 3 seats next to me who backed away like that was a hand grenade. It hits the floor, and it slides under the barricade, and this dude slid his seat back 5 feet. Like he was trying to, he didn't want to touch it. It was awesome.
Bro, I wish, man, you should have hit a big move right before that.
Right before the cup?
No, right after the cup. You had me there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Dude.
I wish it was a little more straightforward.
Oh, I wish it was higher. It was very low back. But we've been working on your we've been working on your brain buster ever since you started wrestling. So I can't say
I blame Izzy. After that match, me and him had it elevate. After that, I could never do it right.
Yeah. What was really bad, we were talking about the ref. The ref had a very hard time with falling on the mat. And the way he would fall, it would shake that ring as if it counted a 1. So every time he goes and he hits 1, I'm thinking it's a 2 count and I'm out. Like, I'm out and I'm there. And
hey, I'm glad you just talked over that because I think Donnie.
Good. Good.
Because I threw the water and it got on his suit.
Oh, which he hated. That dude always had the most sparkling suit ready to go. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I remember this. This is a spot that needs to be done way more often. So easy, so simple. It looks like you're dead, and you're really not.
I needed to hold it a little bit more because I feel like it touched.
Yeah, it definitely
but then
sprung
it kind
out.
of flung.
Yeah. But it got the point across.
Oh! I was like, you know what? He hit me. I'm gonna hit him.
Yeah, it's all ad lib.
dude.
Actually,
I
at
remember,
this point, I look over, I see you, I go, crap. Okay, that's fine.
I remember you sitting at my house saying you wanted to take kendo stick shots. So this match happened in December. This was your early Christmas gift. Was that kendo stick? And it's like one condition: you're taking a shot from this thing.
Oh yeah.
And he took a couple.
Which the plan was to take at least 2 or 3, and then we ad-libbed some shots in between there. So it is what it is.
I really wish I just went off. Just keep going. But
I've got the picture.
I thought you were. I was prepared.
Y'all ended up with like strawberries up the sides of your back from where that thing whipped around, and the top caught you.
Yep.
That was no BS, man.
I think this went on a little too much.
Yeah, very much so.
Just keep reversing, but hey, we got to where we need to get to.
So, context on this one. You told me, to go through the table, you got to get to the top rope. I was like, no, that's not going to happen. I was like, I'll stand on the apron. Okay, yeah, cool. So the plan was the apron. And then I'm sitting there, and I look up at it, and the crowd starts going haywire. I'm like,
I was just hoping he didn't fall.
Let's do it. Oh, it was close. Those pants are
Right
still
there.
tight to this day.
Oh, dude, the construction of that table.
Perfect.
Ugh, that might be the worst table you ever get put through.
Well, at least you
but it went through.
take that one Simon bounced off of. Are we not supposed to talk about that? My
Dale,
bad.
did you see that clip?
It was Simon's ladder match a couple weeks
I'll
back.
send you that clip off air.
He bounces off of a table built the exact same way, and I mean bounces off. It was rough.
It was
Off
rough.
a ladder.
Did he flop off a ladder? Oh no!
Yeah.
Off a ladder,
yeah,
his
yeah.
back hits it, and it sends it propels him forward. It's rough. I was kind of scared that was going to
Simon
happen to y'all.
Phillips is a
Thank
freaking
God.
beast, and he should get more props than what he's given, for sure.
Nothing but respect. It's that fighting spirit.
Fighting spirit.
No.
I should have got up. I should have hulked up.
Yeah.
Hit it with the
Say,
old Robinson
screw that
special.
table.
Everything he could, all the punishment on the Dale Springs, and Dale Springs is still.
I think my uncles are still in attendance for this show as well, which you just had them yelling stupidity the whole match.
They were.
Yep, that tracks.
I think at this point I didn't know what I was doing, so I was just yelling at you.
Hey, it was good. It was good. Storyline goes with the story.
but
Storyteller. It's almost like I'm good at it, guys.
by this point, you guys are almost 15 minutes in of just beating the holy hell out of each other. So, I mean, it makes sense that you're going to take a second to get back up.
Yeah.
Dude, this little sequence here.
I think he said he hated it.
I gotta bring the guillotine choke back. I gotta bring it back.
Was it this match or other match? I think he literally CWF owner shit on it and was like, why is he doing that?
Yes, no, that was our previous match.
Okay, I was about
Which
to say,
maybe
I was like,
we can watch
here we
back
go.
for real, but the whole point was this is the callback to what happened in that match, and this sucked. But I
Did you know I
remember
was gonna do that though?
what
Did you know that I was gonna hit you with it?
with the kendo. One of the best spine busters you have ever hit.
Hey, can we replay it one more time?
We can replay.
We'll watch it
Why
back
not?
after.
Okay, all right.
It is one of the best spine busters. But yes, the
Oh, yeah,
guillotine
it was
choke is one of the best ones. I don't think we talked about something with the kendo stick, but I don't remember.
I just noticed that it was right by me, and I was like, I'm not about to go towards the rope.
Well, so I
I was
remember
like,
it
you
was
know what?
awkward because I think you were supposed to fall. So I had you choked up, and you didn't fall, and instead you started walking. I'm like, this is about to get real freaking stupid. And I like happened to like glance over my shoulder and see you like fingertips away.
Perfect.
Okay. I think that's where my strawberries
I fell
came from.
down. I fell
Oh, yeah.
down from on the other one, the last.
Yeah, on the
other
first
match.
one. Yeah.
And that's what he hated on. He was like, "Why did you do that?"
Actually,
Just come
I don't
back
think
up.
you fell down on the first one. I think that's what he was hating on. Was that because we did the arm count, and you were still standing up.
Oh,
No, I hate the
Yeah.
arm count.
I hate the arm count too, and
I just did it
It's
just
one.
'cause.
If you pick the arm up and it drops once, they're out. Like that. That's one of those wrestling hills I'll die on.
Well, guess what? We didn't do it like that. So
and aim in corner. Screw you.
that one was a good one, dude. I was waiting for you to drop kick or like cannonball. Really, you probably should have cannonballed.
Dude, right there.
Oh,
I've known you since
I did
you were
it
in
on
high
purpose.
school, and you've had knee problems.
I did it on purpose.
The entirety of our friendship, I've seen you in knee braces a chunk of it. So when you went down, dude, my heart sank. I was like, well, there it is. That's a year.
Everyone cheered for that. That was hilarious.
The trash can.
Yeah, staying
Yeah,
in.
so I
dipped
slid
it.
it in, and the whole time, as soon as I slid it, I'm like, that's going way further than what I want it to go. I was
Hey,
expecting it to go out on the other side, and it didn't.
If you wanted to do the fall, you hit me. That kind of hurt. But anyway, when you were gonna go out and fall, you might as well just try to like go through the rope and then fell on the apron, then fell.
Yeah.
Okay, I tried to keep that by my head, but I was like, I don't know if he's gonna accidentally just literally kick me in my face. So I was like, let me not.
I put it on your abdomen for a reason.
Hey man, I was gonna take a sicker bump just for you.
Well, that was
It's okay.
the,
You took a little bit more of a beating later, so.
It's the softest little taps on
Yeah.
that 2 count.
Yeah, but
Hit the mat.
dude, some of them he was just going too fast. But no, again, nothing against them. You know, I feel like in other matches he wasn't as bad.
This
I don't know.
is. This
He
is
might have been
nuts.
scared
No,
because he definitely
he's.
slapped Legos a few times, so he might have been like, I'm not hitting the mat
Yes.
too hard.
Yeah.
He
Which,
did like
now-
kind of
now
do
the
something like that
Legos-
at some point.
Yeah, no, at one
Yeah,
point
it was
he
it was the
like a
first
1
it was the
count,
first count, and
and he
he
pulls that
hits.
hand
He,
back, and
storytelling at its finest.
so the people behind me, I just heard one of the guys yell to the whole row of people with him like, yo, that's the one that he got broken over his back. And I was just like, it sure is, buddy. It sure
It
is.
sure is.
And then I
caught
pop you like
storytelling.
once or twice, like a freaking like horsewhip. And
I was
it
like,
just
if
wasn't
you're
good
gonna hit me,
enough.
just hit me, dude.
Yeah. Well, I thought it would be like a little more painful if I just like whipped you.
I think it did. I
Instead
think
of-
that's why I did that. I was like, yo.
Yeah. And I was
I
like,
don't know. I
no,
don't
that's not
remember.
working. It's not worth it.
I'm just glad you picked the right one and not the wrong one.
Yeah, is Alex still
Well, I mean, it's not like we had 80 of them.
grabbing one of the biggest
We only had freaking 80 drivers in there to choose from, and you chose the one.
The 1 and 21 and 1.
Correct.
Oh, I was looking back because I was just waiting. I was just waiting.
Yeah,
I was
you were like, "Where are you
"Ugh."
at?" And then
I lost my
stupidly,
breath. I lost my breath.
oh, and I remember this. So this is where we could talk about the end. I remember you screaming in pain, and as I hook your legs, all I hear is, "You're winning, you're winning, you're winning, you're winning," and then I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, great."
Starts crying. For you.
Yeah, it is what it is.
First time in the building to watch you wrestle, you win the top prize in the company, and it's just been all downhill from there.
Thing doesn't break. The club doesn't break on me. He doesn't know he's winning. I lose my press trying to tell him that he won.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, no, they don't show it, dude. They don't show it.
No, they don't.
You would have to go to mine.
They're calling it. So, we had a bit of an emotional promo, which you can elaborate on. But to add context to the win, you told me all week, "Hey, you are not winning. You are not winning. You are not winning."
I said we'll do another match.
I said, "You got it. No biggie. Everything's fine." Knowing full and well that you were done in December, by the way. And
Yeah, I told you I was going to drop the belt after the match.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we talked about, like, we prefaced beforehand, like, we'll have promo time, everything. And the whole time in the back of my head, I'm like, he's doing something fishy. Because we talked about golf club, pin, and then it was, I'll find a way to hit you with a hole-in-one or something. And that was it. That was the finish that we talked about. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then you came out.
Deep 2.9 kick out. I could have done that.
And you came out bawling your eyes out, and then that's when it clicked. Of like, okay, I could be taking this. And then hearing my favorite moment of the night was hearing you go, "You're winning, you're winning, you're winning," because you just had no breath. You were in extreme pain. But yes, going into this, winning the title, sitting there, emotional promo afterwards, kind of give us the rundown of what happens. We won't go find the footage, but
out of the wrestling world, I was at that time thinking that I was really going to be done. My first retiree.
easy
But that
to
didn't
funk.
happen. But it didn't happen. I didn't. I just left the company for a couple months. We wrestled elsewhere, which was hilarious. But I don't know. I just at that time I thought I was about to get a new start a new journey outside of wrestling, and I was like, I can't wrestle. It was just like schedule is gonna conflict with wrestling, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just time to do it. Call it quits.
Yep.
So really, I got teared up because of that. I was just soaking it all in.
Right.
Like I did in my actual retirement match. But I don't know. Just we talked about that.
Match.
No.
Yes, this is
my
the
only
first.
retirement match.
This is the first retirement match.
The only retirement match.
This
And,
is the tease to retirement. This was actually this was the
literally-
start of the Dale Springs retirement tour.
Yes, and I really wish I would have made a shirt. I had a friend who would have made me a logo, and I
It was
just
a
never
hell of
did
a
it.
tour, man.
It was.
Y'all had a
I mean, we did great after that. I mean, I still traveled, and then after that, like I think almost halfway through 2023, I had a blow up in my mental state and got some help, and I was like, the world is expensive, so I was like, I'm just gonna wrestle in Louisiana, and then slowly but surely, I liked going out and wrestling, but then it was just like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not putting my 100% in, so I was just like, yeah, this is it. I'm done.
For sure.
And so that's why a couple weeks ago I had my last match.
Yep. And here
Actual
we are.
last match.
And here we are pulling you out of retirement for a podcast.
Hey, I would have done a podcast with you anyway. I told you this.
Absolutely. And anytime, you will probably be our most frequent guest because I have you on speed dial, and I can do that. And it's not like we haven't had, I think it's a collective like 12 to 14 matches together, whether it's tag teaming or against each other. So we definitely have an array to choose from.
I mean, even then, you as a caddy, I mean, that's even extra matches.
We'll definitely have to have you back on and have you choose a match where I caddied. Ooh.
That triple threat match was hilarious.
That triple threat match was awesome. The only suck thing about it is that it doesn't have any footage of me being the caddy.
Yeah.
Other than the finish.
Yeah, other than the finish. Other than that, I think really that one-on-one with me and Isaiah for the Uprising Championship. Literally, you can do the one in Mississippi or you can do the one in Chalmette. That one, we really started doing some story there.
Do we have any footage of both of those?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, then maybe we'll do
there
it
somewhere.
Future episodes.
What we will do is we'll go ahead and say it. We talked a bunch about start of retirement tour. We'll go ahead and call it. In a month, in 4 weeks, we're going to get Dale back on, and we are going to... What?
I thought you were about to say in a month, in 4 weeks, Dale Springs will be back in wrestling.
In a month and or 4 weeks, we will have Dale back on the podcast to watch the retirement match, the Pillar versus Hunter Law and Purple Haze. I'll call it now. We'll make sure that it's on the schedule, and we'll make it happen. But, dude, I remember this being almost the kickstart to my wrestling career. I cannot thank you enough for letting me be the caddy. I can be sappy now. It's been one heck of a ride. We are here, and it's sucks to see you go, but hey, life is life, and I can't wait to see what it brings you, dude.
I will say, well, maybe a little sappy. I told you a bunch of times I respect you, and I am proud of you for all you've done. And even though when you're like literally in your head so much, I had to tell you it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all good. You're doing fine. And honestly, out of the 3.5 caddies that I had, I would say you're the best one.
I've been number 2 until this day. I have been number 2 until today.
Hey, number 1, he's still in my heart. He's still in my heart. My number 1 caddy. Caddy number 1.
Sure. Oh,
Jacob.
Yeah.
My best friend. Childhood best friend.
Buddy. Anyway. But yes, I'm calling it now. Watch along later where we can do the retirement match. There will be dozens more every time that we have Dale on. We will make sure that y'all are aware when he comes on. But man, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for having a good time with us.
Thank you for having me.
And yes, segue to the closing.
So check it out, folks. We resurrected Dale Springs from the dead. Unfortunately, he had to go back to being deceased. R.I.P. Big Dale. Gone but not forgotten. We love you, buddy.
We love you, bud.
But man, what a match, what a segment, and what a guy, you know?
He can be a real prick sometimes, but he is definitely a great guy. Sucks to see him go in this little retirement fit that he has right now. But it's good to know that I have him on speed dial even into the afterlife. So
Get the Ouija board out.
Absolutely. The Ouija board out, and just make sure that we just type in Golf Father before we call him. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Dylan, where can we find you?
I am Dylan Gilbert on pretty much all social medias. I'm 1/2 / 1/3 of the Action Figure Weekly podcast. Check us out. We just dropped our first episode of our fantasy booking figure fed podcast. I'll shoot you the link and we'll toss it down in the old description.
Shoot ya.
And other than that, man, you can probably find me standing against the wall at 225 shows and
absolutely. Yeah.
Anywhere there's wrestling and beer, man, I'm there.
Absolutely. You can check me out at Alex Braddock or the Alex Braddock, wherever you want to look for things. You can also check me out on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the Victory Roll. Hit the bell icon if we have a bell icon. And also share a post. If you found us via Facebook, share the Facebook post because we don't pay for advertising. We only get spread out by word of mouth. So please share us if you like what you see. Just, I'll be the cheesy YouTuber. Drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Please share us any way possible. We love doing what we do. We love talking about wrestling. So please support us. But whether it is a good morning, a good afternoon, good evening, or good night for you, we hope you enjoyed this wrestling podcast and y'all have a great time.